All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is June 5th. We got game number 1 of the NBA Finals. Thunder taking on the Pacers. In today's video, I'm going to dive into this game. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props. I believe I have 2 as of right now that I'm liking within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays so that I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, if you do want to fade me, all of that down in the pinned comment, absolutely free. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3 for more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. So it's been a while since you saw me last. Feels like a century, but we're coming off of a nice 2-0 night. We had the over in that last game of the Pacers and Knicks, as well as Karl Anthony Towns over 21.5 points. He finished with 22, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. So a 2-0, you know what? One more cha-ching, 2-0 night. But that is all in the past. We got to dive into this game. But before we do, I want to talk to you guys about Sleeper. They have a free pick for tonight's game 1 of the NBA Finals. Tyrese Halliburton, 0.5 points. Can Halliburton get 1 bucket, 1 point? I think so. I know OKC's defense is good, but 1 point is 1 point. You're also going to get your first deposit matched up to $100. You could throw in $100. You're going to get $100 back. You're going to get a new bankroll in there, a balance of $200 to spend and play with. So go ahead and check it out. They also have a ton of other promos, I'm pretty sure, live or going to be live for the NBA Finals for all users. So go ahead and check it out. Again, that link will be down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. Halliburton free square, deposit match, and a bunch of different promos that they're going to be launching. Go ahead and check out Sleeper. Link down below. But all right, what do you say we dive into game number 1 here? Thunder, 9-point favorites in this one. It makes sense, right? It'd be silly to sit here and think, oh my God, that's a crazy number. If we kind of take this back for a second, and I have 2 points to make before we actually do get into the side. First and foremost, I love the fact that we have 2, I guess what you consider small market teams comparatively to some of the teams that were left in the playoffs now in the NBA Finals. I love that. The NBA probably might not like it. I get it. Indiana seems like they were the team that they didn't want to. They were on True TV, the backup games, that type of thing, right? NBA TV in the first round. But I love this for the parity of the league. Secondarily, this number does make sense to me. One team you kind of thought would be in the finals all along, the Thunder, and one team seems like they squeaked their way and squeezed their way in, right? So I'm not alarmed by this 9 number. I think it's fair. And for game number 1 in OKC, the place is going to be rocking. I probably do say Thunder minus the 9 points, solely because I think that they have the 10 times 10 over better defense, like realistically. And the Pacers, at some point, I've been saying it all along and been wrong for a lot of it, right? At some point, I'm like, when are the Pacers going to stop shooting, 50% from 3, 50% from the field? Like in that last game against the Knicks, 54% from the field, 52% from 3. That Knicks defense, yeah, they're gritty, yeah, they're grindy, they're not the Thunder. So I don't think we're going to see this extreme offense out of the Pacers here in this game. You flip it over to the Thunder side of things, I don't think the Pacers defense is going to be fully built to stop what the Thunder like to do, which is scoring in the paint and all that type of stuff, right? Actually, to close out the year and within the playoffs, they've been a little bit better in the playoffs, but this is still like a bottom third defense in the paint type of a team, and it makes sense. Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam, not exactly the studs down there to defend the rim or the paint. So I get why this is 9. That's probably where I lean, but I will say all that to kind of say I don't think I risk it. I think this Pacers team is gritty enough. They seem like they got some destiny behind them. They might be a team of fate here. 9 points is a hell of a lot. The Thunder could win this one handily by 6 points, right? Like they never had lost the lead and they controlled the tempo and all that and still win by 6 points, which would be 2 possessions, yet the Pacers cover that 9 number. So I can't get to the Pacers plus 9. I'm more likely to pull the trigger on Thunder minus 9, but not likely enough that it's one of the final plays. So I'm just being kind of transparent. It's a tough number for me. Where I could see myself rolling with something here is an over 229.5. I think the Thunder should be able to score, their side of this. And if the Pacers keep shooting like they've been shooting, like I said, I don't think they will. But how many times have you guys heard me, whether it was, any of the Pacers series, I guess, how many times have I been like, I don't think the Pacers can keep shooting like this. And then they do, right? So maybe they are going to shock the world yet again, or at least shock Ev yet again. But even if this is like a 120 to 110 type of a game, we're covering that number. And that score, isn't all that crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do like the idea of an over 229. If this gets up throughout this series even higher or anything like that, yeah, I'm probably sticking away from it to some degree, because at some point defense does win championships, and I do believe that. But to me, if you can get the Pacers to 110, the Thunder, I'm thinking, can get to that 115, 120 number ultimately. So I'd probably peg this right around that score, I guess. Maybe like 121 to 112 in a sense, which would be over the number. Now, a couple player props that I do like, and we can dive into the outlier screen here. If you guys want access to this tool, it's simple. Link down in the description, 7 days free. Even afterwards, it's just $19.99 per month, which you hit a couple plays, it's paying for itself, right? You want to go pro, which is a little bit more expensive. They have the EV tool, the boost, the arbitrage, the middling. Really, really cool, profitable tools. What I'm showing you is just the base version. So if this looks good to you, get that 7-day free trial with the link down in the description. No code needed, just use that link. But I'm liking Isaiah Hartenstein over 6.5 rebounds. Kind of based on what we saw out of Mitch Robinson. In fact, let me just show you this really quickly. Heck, we might even have that in Outlier. We do, yeah. So Mitch Robinson, that's cool. We don't even need to go to that. So Mitch Robinson, 9 rebounds. Where is he again? 6, 7, 6. So he was right around these numbers with limited minutes played, which I do think we could run into with, Hardenstein, which is obviously why we're seeing a little bit of a downturn in terms of his rebounds. Because of, look at this minutes, right? If we filter his minutes, didn't exactly get a bunch of minutes there. But this team, we even saw that, and this is mainly because the way that the Timberwolves were playing, they didn't always need Hardenstein and Holmgren out there. What did the Knicks do? The Knicks, even in the middle of that series, said, you know what? It's probably better to combat this Pacers team with 2 bigs, Towns and Robinson, right? So I'm thinking that Hartenstein is the beneficiary of what we saw from Robinson, and he gets a few more minutes here. And even with these limited minutes, let's take a peek at 19, 15, 17 minutes. Rebound chances-wise, 16, 12, 12 against a far worse rebounding team now in Indiana, who, bottom 5 in the league in terms of rebounds allowed to the center. I think we could see 7 boards out of Hartenstein. So over 6.5 rebounds is what I like. I kind of considered the idea of his rebounds plus assists, because I'm thinking that if this Indiana team continues, and it's only 9.5, but even his potential assists, really, he's having some games with 0, right? The thought process there is that if he's getting these rebounds, some might be offensive and some might be kickouts, that type of a thing. So that's kind of where my mind went, but I think the safer move might just be taking a peek at his over 6.5. Look at him on the season. 80% of his games, he hit the over. At home, he hit it in 74% of his games. At home, when he plays 20 minutes is really what I want to look at here, because I do think that he might get some more run in this series. Check this out. When he plays 20 minutes, 83% of his games at home, averaging 9.3. Do I really think that he's going to play, some of these 30-minute type games? No. So let's say 20 to 25. 7 of 9 games, averaging 15.6 rebound chances. So hopefully we're right about how we're getting this. And you can even see here with the line movement, it's showing it right here. You can see this was 7.5, down to 6.5, got up to 7.5. All these lines, we could still snag it right here at this 6.5. So yeah, I kind of like the idea of it. It's moving pretty quickly. 6.5 rebounds for Hardenstein. In terms of the other side of things, this is one where I do think there's a little risk behind it. But hey, what industry are you in? There's always risk, right? Siakam, this is a team in which you can score kind of in the mid-range. And where's Siakam going to like to score from? The mid-range, right? And he's already done it a couple times against this squad. Once this year, once last year, 21, 22 points. But overall, he's had some pretty big games in the playoffs. We take a peek at him on the road. Let's go last 5 on the road. That's a little bit more telling, right? 20.8 points per game. Yes, we're looking at a few red numbers here, but he had a big one. He had a decent one there. All we'd be looking for is 19 points from Siakam in this spot. But like I said, head-to-head, yeah, you could make the argument that they've shut him down before, but I have a feeling that this Thunder team is really going to put a lot of emphasis on going at the ball and Halliburton, stopping the pick and roll and all that jazz. So I think Siakam could be kind of the beneficiary of the second star, the guy that just won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, kind of being forgotten about, which is crazy to say. When I say forgotten about, I don't think that they're going to be like, oh, wow, we're not even covering him. I just think there's going to be a lot of focus on the pick and roll and Siakam, because that's been something that this Thunder team has been really good at this regular season and throughout the playoffs, the pick and roll defense. Siakam doesn't necessarily come in here as a huge pick and roll type of a scorer, right? The way that he's going to score his points is, well, I guess we could say, yeah, he'll get in the pick and roll, but you're going to see him in isolation. You'll see him definitely on the break and whatnot. So for him to go out there and get 20 points isn't all that crazy. I do think that that mid range is going to come in kind of handy too. Even though the Thunder are good at defending it, it's been a weak spot throughout the playoffs. So yeah, I like the idea of him going out there and scoring maybe 20 points, giving you a little bit of something. Like I said, I like an over, so I could see a decent amount of points here in this game. But guys, that's all I have for you. Let me know your favorite plays down in the comments. Go ahead and comment 10 if you made it this far into the video. Really successful NBA season so far. I mean, last year we were up 81 units, which is, I don't think we'll ever sniff that again. This year, I believe we're right around the 15, 16 mark. So yeah, I still consider that in the green, right? We're bad enough at this that I'll take any profit. But anything that we do in this, probably going to be some conservative type plays, quarter unit, half unit, that type of thing, because with maximum 7 games left in the season, we don't want to burn everything that we did in the regular season and early playoffs. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, that's just the last thing I'll leave you on. Be careful, obviously do it responsibly and all that good stuff, guys. But I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.